Hey YouTube, how you guys doing today? Kevin here coming at you with another video. So we're working on the Lawnboy, and as you can see I have everything cleaned up. You can see the cork float and the needle. All the jets are nice and cleaned out. The gasket, the bowl. This is all plastic, by the way. This is on 1983 Lawnboy. I got the carburetor right here all cleaned out. And as always, I want to talk to you guys about carburation. So a couple of things that are very overlooked and very important is if you look inside on the left right there, you can see that there's a air port. You got to make sure you get the air port done because that goes into the vent, into the bowl, and allows the fuel to go up. If you can't get air, it's going to suck it. It's going to suck the fuel, but it ain't going to get anything out. So it'll be like a straw with a hole in it. So you need to clean that vent out. So I took all the jets out, being very careful not to mess anything up. And I also want to talk to you guys about this. On the carburetor, there's this brass adjuster right here. That goes into the needle. Now on our KE100s and our dirt bikes, we have, you can actually see the needle in the middle there? Okay, the throttle needle on the slide goes up and down, and that regulates how much fuel and all that type of stuff. So this little brass screw right here has a needle on it, and it does the exact same thing, just that it's fixed. So instead of being, full throttle or whatever, that right there is what gives you that adjustment right there. And then it kind of gets it in between three-quarter throttle and full throttle, because it's all controlled by the wind coming off the flywheel. So the flywheel's here and spins, and it blows the air, which opens the throttle to where it needs to be. So idle, and then when you speed up the engine, it increases. Well, this engine only has two speeds, has high, and this right here slides over like to that, to low. So it has idle and high speed. Basically 3,600 RPM is what it runs at. And then it idles down, I think it's like 2,200 or something like that. So anyway, I wanted to show that to you. It's all, like I said, it's all plastic. This carburetor is in excellent condition. I had it soaking in the carburetor parts from gunk, and now I'm going to reassemble it. So I got an old screwdriver here, a nice big fat blade for the jet and for the needle. So basically, we're just going to flip this over. I'm doing this kind of one-handed, guys, so sorry about the shakiness in the film. I'm probably just going to put you guys down for a second and, whatchamacallit there, and put the jets and stuff in. So, right back. Okay, so what I did was, pause you guys, I put the main jet in, which has the long orifice tube, make sure all my jets are cleared, and this middle one is the one that gets the gasket right there. The seat does not. Then, over the jet is this little filter here. Okay, so this is going to slide over. I'm going to need two hands for this one, so I'm going to do the same thing. Pause you guys for a second. Alright, so what I got here is I got the float put on and that filter screen. And basically, you just want to make sure the pin slides in, make sure it's centered. And the float is level. And that's pretty much it. So that's where she's going to sit there, put the gasket on it. Bada bing, bada boom, bada boom. I'll slap the bowl on it, and then we'll go install it on the machine. Alright, so I took and blew out all the crap inside here. And then I'll show you what you got here. You have this coil right here, and this coil right here. This one right here is your ignition coil that goes down to your spark plug, which we put a new spark plug in it. And then this one right here, this is the charge coil. This right here is what charges your battery. So it has its own charging system, and for charging up the battery when it starts up. So that's what that's for. And then it's got the little capacitor in here to change it from what do you call it there, the rectifier and all that. So to change it from AC to DC to charge that battery. But you can see I cleaned it all out inside there the best I could. Get it. Get that all done. So it looks like a little piece is blew back in there, so we'll try to get that out in a minute. But for the most part, it's in good shape, and we're going to go ahead and install the carb. So I'm put that down. See if you guys can stay here. I don't know if you guys can stay like that. No, probably not. We'll see. Carburetor all done. It's all back together. Basically, it's just a really nice carburetor. Plastic, easy to clean, easy to work on. So, and you can see when it comes up through here, there's the fin right there on the top of the carburetor, and the air actually from the carburetor is what moves it. So let's see if we can get you guys put off to the side here. So you guys can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can. Possibly. Okay. And I'm just going to install the carburetor bolts back to where they came. There's two of them, so I'm going to slide them in here first. Yeah. Putting the carburetor bolts in first, and then I'm going to start them both together. I lied to you guys, there is a gasket back there. It was just so covered I thought it was plastic to plastic, but it's not. There is actually a gasket back here. And it's in good shape, so I'm going to reuse it. No sense of buying a new gasket if you don't need to. So let's start these by hand. I'm going to screw them in with the screwdriver. They're Phillips. Wind them in together. Nice and good and tight. Okay. All right. And the carburetor is back on. So the fins right here, when the engine spins around, it blows the fin and operates your throttle. That's the governor. Now this one right here is on spring tension, so when you click it over, it changes it from light spring tension to heavy spring tension. So that's what gives you your high and low speed on this particular engine. Pretty simple design, real simple to do. And then we have, I put them in here, I gotta clean these real quick. So I'm gonna go clean these real quick, and we're gonna pop these on and get that air filter back on. Alright, so now there's two of these little caps. They fit in the holes to block off any dirt and debris from coming through the other side. And those are also your access plugs for your air filter. I clean the air filter, just regular soap and water, nothing dramatic. You don't need any harsh chemicals. So I just use regular dish detergent. I'll use Dawn for that. And then just stick it in there. And if it breaks up, you need to replace it. Real simple. The air filter box is all nice and cleaned on the inside and outside, so it just clicks on like this, loops around, it snaps in there, and has a secondary lock right there. So you can see on the front here, here's the rabbit right here for more tension, and that makes it harder to move the what do you call it there, and it makes it easier to move. And then you go over to the slow right here, the slow, it makes it yeah, backwards. That you get what I'm saying. So when it goes to rabbit, it goes full throttle. When it goes to turtle, it goes light throttle. And that's all done by a little spring that's right here. I don't know if you can see that. No, it's a little spring, and that's how it gives it its tension, and it locks in to the lock here and the lock on that side. Just slides back and forth until it locks over. And that's pretty much it for the carburetor. We blew out the whole top here, and we were able to get the put a new spark plug in. I did check for spark when I was off camera, and we did have spark, so that's all good. Compression's excellent, so everything's pretty much ready to go on this thing. You have your fuel line here, and that top line right there is your primer. So I'm going to inspect the primer line, which is right here. It does look kind of ratty, but I think it'll work. So I'm going to go clean that up real quick, and I'll be right back. Alright, yeah, the primer line looks pretty good. And it goes all the way up through here. Basically, any part where it's exposed is where it's probably going to need to be replaced. It's a smaller line, which goes into a bigger line right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. And it comes up through here. Your primer line goes into this box here. Then you get your heavy thing for your for cranking the engine over, and then you got your primer bulb, which is right here, which probably is not going to work. They typically have a problem with working, the ones I've seen. So anyway, what we have left to do, which I'm going to stop for today, all I have left to do on this machine is to flush out the fuel tank. I'm going to put that back on. I'll get that on right now, actually. Put the fuel tank back on. We're going to get snow tonight. Yes, I said the S word on camera. Snow. Here's the fuel line, the petcock right there. And the fuel tank, obviously it's plastic, so it's easy to clean. But it definitely needs to be flushed. You can see it's got some crap in there. So we're going to flush that fuel tank. I'll throw it back on so I can get it onto it. And then, whatchamacallit there. I'm not going to put any fuel into through the carburetor on that until I get that all situated and set up. And then you get your on and off, open and close they call it. Put that on like so. And then put the Lawnboy thing on. Here, had one wrong screw into it, but that's okay, we don't care about that. I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. Alright, so where we're at is we have spark. We put a brand new plug in it. I put a E3 plug in it. And we rebuilt the carburetor, cleaned it all out, make sure there's no debris. The only thing left to do is flush the fuel tank, put mix in it, 32-to-1, and then fire this bad boy up. That's all that's left. So I gotta get some mix. Here's the original battery right here. I just cut the end of it off because we're gonna put a pull start on this thing, but I wanted to show you what I did. So back here I'm using a car battery just to jump it, and I'm gonna show you guys a little trick. So if you guys have a junk battery, I cut the end of it off, the pigtail, so I didn't cut into the factory harness. I took regular, 5/16 bolts, and I drilled through them. Put the wire through it, and then use the nut to tighten them up, and then it fits onto the clamp. That's how I clamp onto smaller batteries. I figure I'd show you that little tip. Okay, see, I just drilled right through the bolt. Hold on a second, I'll pause it for a second. Alright, you can see right here where I drilled through the bolt. Right there. Put the wire through, and then I can just clamp it down onto the wire. And then what it does is when I'm using a bigger battery to jumpstart, I can clamp the battery right onto the clamps right onto the bolt this way, and then it gives me plenty of room to plenty of connection, we'll say. I took the old plug out, it had an old auto light in it, just beat to heck. So I put that in there. This thing has excellent compression. This thing's gonna run beautiful. So we got a few screws left to throw into it. One screw was the wrong screw, and guess what? I'm not putting that one back in that one. It can be without it. If it ain't right, I don't want it, and then I'll just get the actual screw for it at a later date. As long as it's held on there properly, I'm good. 3 will hold it. Just another fun-filled adventure. And then hopefully on the next video we'll be able to start this thing. So this is part 2 of the Lawnboy. And then just tighten up these last couple of screws. So carburetor's done. Gotta flush the fuel system. Battery clamps are made. And then that's pretty much it. And then I gotta do that last bolt there. Flush the tank. Once that's all done. 32-to-1 mix. This is a 1983. And it's been sitting for a while. I love these machines. These are good machines. Okay, alright. We're all tightened down there. I'm not going to put the fuel line on. Need that off. I'm going to have to bring it out here actually so I can flush it out. I'll put a little tube onto that and then bring it out into a bucket I'll put some regular gas in here, rock the mower back and forth. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's not that bad. And then go from there. What if it tells you? This is Lawnboy mix. Oh yeah, it does. It tells you right on the cap. Look at that. Right there. 32 to 1. Right there. See that or not? It's kind of hard to see, but yeah. 32 to 1 mix. That's cool. Tells you right on the cap. And this one is the 8240 AE. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. If you guys have any questions or any comments, by all means, please send them my way. Thanks again. Bye-bye.